Type Demon 170 top speed into a search bar and the internet will scream 215 miles per hour at you. The internet is lying. The most violent American car of the last decade tops out at 149, and that number is not a disappointment. It is the entire point. This is a countdown of the 10 fastest American cars in 2026, ranked by real, verified, factory top speed, climbing from 149 miles per hour all the way to 233. Every horsepower figure, every quarter-mile time, and every price on this list has been checked against the source, because most videos like this one simply copy each other's mistakes. We caught them and fixed them. I will also be straight with you about something the thumbnails never mention. Half of these cars you can still order new from a dealer today. The other half are gone, discontinued, and they only live on the used market now. I will tell you exactly which is which as we go. So subscribe before you scroll away, because the car sitting at number 1 catches a $3.7 million Ferrari, beats it to 60 miles per hour, and does it for a tiny fraction of the price. You are going to want to see where it lands. One quick note on the rules. This is ranked by top speed, not by how quick a car is off the line. Some of the slowest machines here on top speed will humiliate almost everything above them in a straight line launch. Keep that in the back of your mind. Let's begin. Number 10, the Dodge Challenger SRT Demon 170, 149 miles per hour. You cannot buy this one new anymore. Production ended in 2023, so the only way in is the used market, where clean examples now trade around $140,000. Here is what that money buys: a 6.2-liter supercharged Hemi wearing a 3-liter blower, drinking E85 race fuel, making 1,025 horsepower and 945 pound-feet of torque. It reaches 60 miles per hour in 1.66 seconds. That is the quickest 0 to 60 of any production car ever built. And it pulls more than 2 Gs on the launch. It runs the quarter mile in 8.91 seconds at 151 miles per hour, which made it the first factory car in history to break into the 8-second range. The National Hot Rod Association did not send a trophy. They sent Dodge a violation letter, because any car that runs the quarter mile that quickly is required to have a roll cage and a parachute, and this one shipped with neither. Dodge would even delete the passenger seat if you asked. Only 3,300 were ever built. The top speed is governed to 149, and that is not a weakness. This car was built to leave a starting line, not to chase a number on a highway. Number 9, the Tesla Model S Plaid, 163 miles per hour, at least to start. Where the demon screams, this one whispers. 3 electric motors, 1 at the front and 2 at the rear, deliver 1,020 horsepower the instant your foot twitches. That launches nearly 4,800 pounds of luxury sedan to 60 in right around 2 seconds. And through the quarter mile in the low 9-second range at roughly 150 miles per hour. There are no gears and there is no engine note. Now, about that top speed, straight out of the box, Tesla limits the Plaid to 163 miles per hour in software. To unlock the full 200, you buy the track package, which adds carbon ceramic brakes and stickier tires and costs somewhere between $15,000 and $20,000. Only then does the leash come off. Inside sits a 17-inch landscape touchscreen that commands almost the entire car. Tesla has since wound the Model S down from its normal ordering process, which makes this generation the last of its kind. It never made a sound. It never had to. Number 8. The Cadillac CT5-V Blackwing, 200 miles per hour with 3 pedals. Almost nothing else on Earth still does both. This is a hand-built 6.2-liter supercharged V8, producing 668 horsepower and 659 pound-feet, sent to the rear wheels through a standard 6-speed Tremec manual gearbox. This is not an automatic pretending to be sporty. You get a real clutch and a real shifter. It hits 60 in 3.4 seconds, and Cadillac rates the top speed at more than 200 miles per hour. You can still order one new today, and the base price is just under $99,000, which for this much car borders on a bargain. But here is why it matters. This generation is expected to be the final supercharged V8 Blackwing. Nothing with this exact recipe is waiting to replace it. This is very likely the last rear-wheel drive, manual, supercharged V8 super sedan that America will ever build. A 33-inch curved display sweeps across the dash, and an AKG Studio sound system fills the cabin. 3 pedals, 4 doors, and a slow goodbye that almost nobody is ready for. Number 7. The Ford Mustang GTD, 202 miles per hour. Ford did not really build this car. Ford deployed it. A supercharged 5.2-liter V8 makes 815 horsepower and spins beyond 7,000 RPM, sending power to a rear-mounted transaxle for nearly perfect balance. 60 arrives in roughly 3.5 seconds. More than 6,500 people applied for the first 1,000 build slots, and Ford hand-picked every owner. The sticker is about $328,000. Then Ford took it to Germany. In 2024, the GTD became the first American production car ever to lap the Nürburgring in under 7 minutes. And here is the part almost every other list gets wrong. As of April 2026, a fiercer version called the Mustang GTD competition holds the American record at 6 minutes and 40 seconds. That makes it the second fastest production car ever to lap that circuit, behind only the Mercedes AMG 1 hypercar. Where the rear seats used to be, there is now a clear window framing the rear suspension working at speed. Ford built this machine to embarrass Europe, and on Europe's own track, it did exactly that. Number 6. The Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat Red-Eye Wide-Body Jailbreak, 203 miles per hour. By day, it does the school run. By night, it does 203. This is the fastest mass-produced sedan in the world, and Dodge will happily tell you so themselves. It is also gone, discontinued after 2023, so clean used examples now change hands around $70,000 and up. Under the hood is a supercharged 6.2-liter Hemi making 807 horsepower and 707 pound-feet, driving the rear tires through an 8-speed automatic. That hurls more than 4,600 pounds of 4-door American iron to 60 in about 3.5 seconds, and through the quarter mile in 10.6 seconds at 129 miles per hour. The jailbreak name meant something specific. It unlocked more than 20 categories of factory color and trim combinations that were normally forbidden, all for the very last run of V8 Chargers ever built. Inside, there is Laguna leather, a suede headliner, and an available Harman Kardon sound system. It arrived loud, and it left exactly the same way. 4 cars left, and every single one of them runs past 210 miles per hour. So, here is a question for the comments. Would you rather own the car that wins every drag race, or the one that quietly triples in value while it sits in your garage? Because on this list, you usually cannot have both. Tell me which one you are. Number 5, the Lucid Air Sapphire, 205 miles per hour. It will beat you, and it will do it politely. 3 electric motors produce 1,234 horsepower and 1,430 pound-feet of instant torque. Built in Casa Grande, Arizona, it launches this luxury sedan to 60 in 1.89 seconds and through the quarter mile in the 8-second range at about 158 miles per hour, before running out to a factory rated 205. Motor Trend strapped their timing gear to it and walked away, calling it the quickest accelerating production car they had ever tested, quicker than every Bugatti, Porsche, and Ferrari they had ever measured. Then it turns around and drives 427 miles on a single charge as if nothing happened. You can buy one new, and it costs $249,000. Inside is a 34-inch curved glass cockpit and a 21-speaker Dolby Atmos sound system. This is a startup in the Arizona desert, quietly rewriting 7 decades of the record book from behind a heated massage seat. Number 4. The 2019 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1. 212 miles per hour. Its supercharger is so large that it punches a hole clean through the hood because there was simply no other way to make it fit. This was the last front-engine Corvette flagship ever built, and General Motors sent it out completely unhinged. A hand-assembled 6.2-liter LT5x8 crowned with a 2.65-liter blower, makes 755 horsepower and 715 pound-feet. It clears 60 in the high 2-second range and runs to an SAE certified 212 miles per hour. In 2019, it was the most powerful car General Motors had ever sold. Here is the detail that tells you everything about it. That supercharger consumes 110 horsepower just to spin itself before a single wheel even turns. And engineers added 4 more radiators, bringing the total to 13, purely to keep it alive at full throttle. When the mid-engine C8 arrived, 66 years of front-engine Corvette history closed with this car's tailpipes. It is long gone from showrooms, and clean low-mileage manuals now trade well past $200,000. The king is dead. The price never got the memo. Number 3. The 2022 Ford GT 216 miles per hour. Some cars have a spec sheet. This one has war medals. A 3.5-liter twin-turbo EcoBoost V6 fires 660 horsepower and 550 pound-feet through a 7-speed dual clutch into a full carbon fiber tub weighing barely 3,000 pounds. 60 comes in around 3 seconds flat, and it tops out at 216. This is the fastest production Ford ever built, and it is a race car wearing a license plate. In 2016, it won its class at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Exactly 50 years after the original GT40 humbled Ferrari on that very same circuit. And I want to be precise here, because it matters. That is Le Mans, the greatest endurance race in the world. Not the 24 Hours of Lemons, the $500 junker race that sounds almost identical and is a completely different thing. Only about 1,350 of these were built across the entire run, and every single buyer was vetted by application. Production has ended, and clean examples now trade north of $1 million. Ford built it once. The world has been fighting over it ever since. Number 2. The Hennessey Exorcist Camaro ZL1, 217 miles per hour. When the demon showed up, Texas built a priest and armed it with 1,000 horsepower. The tuner Hennessey, based in Sealy, Texas, tears down the stock Camaro ZL, one supercharged 6.2-liter LT4, fits a bigger supercharger, ported heads, and a custom camshaft, then rebuilds it to a full 1,000 horsepower and 966 pound-feet. That is enough to hit 60 in 2.1 seconds, run the quarter mile in 9.57 seconds at 147 miles per hour, and reach a tested 217 miles per hour. That is 1 mile per hour faster than the $1 million Ford GT for roughly a tenth of the money. Hennessey named the mission out loud. This car was built to slay the demon. The final edition closed the book at just 57 cars, one for every year the Camaro has existed, each with a numbered engine plaque and a full factory-style warranty. All in, including the donor Camaro, you are looking at about $135,000. It wears Recaro bucket seats and stays perfectly quiet about the whole crusade, right up until the light turns green. One car left, and it does something no American car has ever done at this price. Number 1, the 2026 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1X, 233 miles per hour. Ferrari's F80 hypercar costs about $3.7 million. This Corvette catches it, beats it to 60, and does it for a fraction of the price. The ZR1X is not really a supercar. General Motors built a genuine American hypercar and bolted a Chevrolet badge to it. The engine is called the LT7, a 5.5-liter twin-turbo flat-plane V8, making 1,064 horsepower entirely on its own. Add a 186 horsepower electric motor on the front axle, and the combined output is 1,250 horsepower driving all four wheels. General Motors ran it through the quarter mile in 8.675 seconds at nearly 160 miles per hour, and it hit 60 in under 2 seconds. That is not a marketing claim. That is a printed timing slip. It is officially the quickest accelerating production car America has ever built. And it is assembled in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Then comes the price that should not be legal. It starts at $207,395. Do the math against that Ferrari, and this Corvette is roughly 18 times cheaper than the car it is hunting down. A 3-screen cockpit wraps around the driver, and a 14-speaker Bose system fights a losing war against the turbos. America did not politely join the hypercar club. It kicked the door in. So there it is, the 10 fastest American cars in 2026, ranked by real top speed, with every number checked and every myth corrected. I already know some of you think the order is wrong. Maybe you think the demon should be higher. Maybe you do not think a Corvette belongs at the top of a muscle car list at all. Good. Tell me exactly where I got it wrong down in the comments, and tell me which one you would actually park in your own garage. Are you Team Demon 170, Team Ford GT, or Team ZR1X? Subscribe, because the next list settles every argument this one just started. Thanks for watching.